Hello and welcome back to more Irrational Passions Game of the Year. It's happening again. I'm Alex O'Neill, your resident Game of the Yearer, and with me today we have Mr. Adam Wells.
Hello there.
Hi. Hey Adam. How you
What's
doing?
up, Alex? I'm doing all right. Trying to stay warm.
Yeah. I
Snowmageddon is hitting where I am in Minnesota.
yeah, don't die. It's cold up there.
We have houses,
They're like shields from the snow.
basically.
Last year, or I guess this past year, we had like the most snow where I live ever.
Oh,
Feels
dang.
like 2016, rough year for snow, beginning and end.
I don't think we had that rough of a winter last year. It was okay. We've had worse, but everyone's predicting because we've had such light winters
It's
that
coming.
this one's going to be really bad. We had our first major snowfall just this past week.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones. Winter's come. Adam, you're a podcaster. So this is your first Irrational Passions appearance. Hopefully, not your last.
Hopefully.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing on the internet.
So I co-host a show called Beyond the Shield. It's a conversational podcast about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What we mostly do is review and break down every episode of Marvel's Agents of Shield, and then we do the movies as they come out as well. I'm not sure really who is still watching Agents of Shield because it was this first half of the season was great because they had a really good portrayal of Ghost Rider, and they did the Robbie Reyes storyline. Gabrielle Luna did a great portrayal as Ghost Rider, but they kind of are moving away from Ghost Rider, so I don't know how the rest of the season is going to go. I have my reservations about where they're going to go with the rest of the season.
I burned out about 4 episodes in the season 2.
Yeah, I can see that. Season 2, they did take a long time to really find their stride, and the more the show goes on, the less it's connected to the movies. Like they try to make a Doctor Strange connection, and it was not really that good. Like someone makes a portal that looks like the portal in Doctor Strange, that is the end of the connection.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like not mention of magic or anything. It's literally an android finds a way to make a portal so people can come to our plane of existence.
I mean, I'd read that. I'd read that graphic novel, that one-off.
Yeah, except it's a show that's really close to about 80 episodes, I guess.
Ooh, not so hot.
Yeah. I always love the meme that occasionally comes out. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like 50 hours, and I'm like, no one is watching Agents of Shield. Maybe the Marvel Netflix shows, which are always fun to break down. We usually binge those in about a week or two, and then break and have a good like 2-hour conversation about those. The most recent one, of course, was Luke Cage, which was really phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wish that the behind the scenes talent on the Netflix shows could get to the ABC shows, but I don't think that transition is ever going to happen.
No. What is, in your opinion, what is the best Netflix Marvel series?
Oh, Daredevil.
Okay.
Daredevil's my favorite Marvel hero, so it's a little biased, but just when that hit, I was like, oh my gosh, I finally have a good portrayal of Daredevil.
Did you like season 2?
I like season 2 with the
Me too.
Punisher, and then we'll get the spinoff. Elektra was phenomenal.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
People were hating on Elektra. Real good, I thought.
Oh yeah, she was great. I don't understand why people would hate on Elektra.
Jessica Jones is my favorite for reference.
Ooh, Jessica Jones.
That's like
there was
people don't like it. So
did you see the DuckTales thing that came out this week?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I came up with it or someone else came up with it, but it is basically if Doctor Who and Kilgrave merged into one person, he would become Scrooge McDuck. So it is very fitting that David Tennant is voicing Scrooge McDuck.
Oh yeah. Honestly, like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm confused as to why they're spending that much money getting that talent for DuckTales.
I don't know. People like DuckTales. It's for the adults, really. It's for the grown-ups that are going to watch that show and be disappointed. So
we'll see. They still never released the whole series on DVD.
Podcasts.
Yes.
Host a show about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. Sorry. I go
no worries.
The DuckTales. This week on my podcast, we went down like a 10-minute rabbit hole about Destiny's Child. Ooh. I don't even know how we got there. Yeah. But it was an interesting discussion because I co-hosted it with this woman named Mitra Nelson, who's been a friend of mine for years. And she is typically more into rap music than me, but when it came to this Destiny's Child debate, I actually had more knowledge for some reason.
Dark twist.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have zero knowledge of Destiny's Child. They did like some Super Bowl thing at one point, and I was like, who the hell are these two other people?
Right. That was my argument, is that Destiny's Child was just a group where Beyonce was the lead singer and the other ones were more background singers, but they called it a group for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. You can't win them all. Well, Beyonce can, but
Yeah.
not everyone else can.
No.
Adam, we're here to talk about your 10 favorite games from 2016.
Yes.
I'm excited about this. This is the first one that I'm recording. So
Okay.
this is
the first time I'm recording this too.
Yeah, I'm all hyped up now. I haven't done any of these, so I haven't been like worn down.
Right.
Whereas like when I record the last one, they're just gonna get like bored Alex, like, oh, you picked Final Fantasy 2, huh? Okay. But no, you're fresh. You're right off the bat. And I'm excited.
Fantasy is not on my list because I didn't play it.
Okay, that's fair. That's valid. Final Fantasy's on my list. Little spoilers for people who are gonna see that at some point. I don't know when that's gonna go out. I don't know when any of these are gonna go out, but we'll figure that out at some point. Adam, let's kick things off with some honorable mentions. Do you have any things that didn't quite make the cut?
Honorable mention, I tried to stick to just 2016 games, but the game I put the most time in this year was all of year one of Lego Dimensions. I jumped on the Lego Dimensions train kind of late. I didn't get it until July, but then everything was on sale, so it was relatively cheap to get all the figures I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent a ton of hours. I got it in July, and I got 100% like all the gold bricks in it by just before year two came out. We'll talk about year two a little later.
Ooh.
Brutal was a really great game, and I think it's even better as a co-op game. This was that ASCII looking designed game. It was a dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
It was at PSX last year. I didn't get to play it at PSX, but then I won a code from Tom Hawkins and just loved this game. Just enjoyed playing it. I didn't get all the way to the end, but it's a permadeath. It's a mostly permadeath game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you die and that's it.
Yeah. It's cool. I've not gotten the chance to play it, but it definitely has a cool style.
Yeah, I love the art style is what really stands out in that game. It doesn't look like anything else out right now.
Yeah.
Job Simulator was great. Keep Talking Nobody Explodes is a great VR party game.
Yes. Agreed.
And Star Wars VR.
That's out now. Yeah.
It's out and it is amazing. It is my new, when someone comes over, like I want to try VR, like you got to try Star Wars VR.
Yeah. No, wait till you see this shit.
Wait till, oh my goodness. Just you look behind you have an R2 unit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's only like a 20-25 minute experience, but if that is the basis of what a VR game can be, that is hopefully my beta testing for $400 will pay off someday with a full-fledged Star Wars VR game.
Yeah. I want to believe, especially after some good Star Wars movies that have happened recently.
Ooh. I've seen it twice.
It's been out for like 3 days. You've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice already.
But
it holds up the second time.
That's a real good movie.
Yeah.
Last 5 minutes of that movie, I told somebody were perfect.
They damn near were perfect. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
yeah.
Go see Star Wars Rogue One or Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. It's a good movie.
It's
worth your time.
Yeah, it's great. So my top 10 starts with Severed, which was a game that came out in April.
Ooh.
And Drinkbox, one of the few studios still believing in the Vita.
Yeah.
And the Vita audience definitely returned that favor, as the game was only available for 5 days in April, and it was still the best-selling game on Vita digitally.
Yeah. People, Vita, as a proud Vita owner, hungry for good games.
Oh, yeah. The problem with me is I'm not a JRPG fan.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these new games that come out just aren't for me. But Severed, I checked out and I was like, oh my goodness, this is just what I needed on Vita.
Yeah, Severed's cool. It's like a first-person dungeon crawler, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you're using, is it just touchscine controls on Vita? I've not played
no,
it. So.
You attack with touchscreen controls.
Mm-hmm.
You basically you use the touchscreen to slash. For those who don't own a Vita, it's also out on iOS
And 3DS.
And 3DS. I I didn't know it came out on 3DS. Oh no, I do remember. Yeah, it came out like later in the summer on 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
But props to Drinkbox for just making a stellar game, and it was relatively cheap. It was like $15. They could have charged $25, and I think people will still come out the woodwork to support this game.
Yeah.
The game also was the number 2 best-selling game on Vita in May. The next month after it was released, and yeah, I loved it. The animation style, the overall design of the game was just really really well done, and I hope Drinkbox continues to make video games.
Yeah. I mean, like, Guacamelee was really cool. I didn't really like how it like you fought things in Guacamelee, but as like just like the style of that game, like the way their games look, there aren't games that look like that good out there. I firmly believe. Yeah, I need to play Severed. That's on my list.
It's great.
Yeah. What about number
Plus
9?
game at some point. Number 9 is Overcooked.
Hell yeah!
Overcooked.
That's
Great.
my
I've
second.
never. I haven't played this game solo.
Okay.
I looked at like they show you the controls like how to play it solo, and I'm just like I don't think I could do that. So it's always like me and my girlfriend or me and a friend come over, or when a friend comes over, we totally play Overcooked, and it's a super fun game.
Yeah.
Like,
has this ruined any friendships for you?
no, actually, I've only played with like 3 people.
Okay.
It was like my girlfriend, my friend who came from out of town, then a friend who lives around here. My friend who lives around here who plays video games the most. Like me and him were just like cracking through it. And then my friend who was out of town, he doesn't play video games, but he actually found it somewhat fun. So even like non-gamers can like come into this game, and it's simple to understand. It's like you're cooking food.
Yeah, it's like the best ideas of Diner Dash of like memorization and organizing things. I've thought about like playing it with my roommates at some point. I just haven't gotten the chance.
I would love if I worked in an office that like focused on team building exercises. I would be tempted to bring this into the office. Unfortunately, I don't, but because the game stresses communication and like teamwork in more than most co-op games. Like this one rewards you when you do it well, and then punishes you with a fire in the kitchen when you totally screw up.
Things actually burn down. What's the good number for Overcooked? How many people?
I found it really good with 2 people. I think I've played it once with 3 people. You can do up to 4 though.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, you
I think I
can
was
do up
reading
to
it.
4. I've seen 4 happen, but I've not like heard. I've heard like 2 is the sweet spot.
Yeah, 2 is the sweet spot. More than you might have too many cooks in the kitchen, as they say.
Yeah, that'll ruin the broth.
Yep.
From what I understand. Take me to number 8.
Number 8 is Res Infinite.
Ooh.
I loved the original Res on Dreamcast. I never played the PS2 version, but when this got announced, I think this was probably my favorite announcement at the PSX keynote last year. I didn't get a chance to play it, so I was basically going in blind, but it was one of my many PSVR launch day games. And the music, the overall look to it, the Area X is just gorgeous in VR. It is a game you don't need VR for, but it definitely makes VR even more worth buying if you're getting Res Infinite, already have Resident Infinite. It's an amazing game. If you like it, this is what I wish the future of rhythm games was, and not so much like Rocksmith or the sad attempt at bringing Rock Band and Guitar Hero back.
Yeah.
Because Res Infinite is like a rhythm game plus kind of a shooter.
Yeah.
In a way.
I got to experience someone experiencing Res Infinite in VR. And it's weird. I mean, it's a hard thing to understand. I never really got into Res.
Okay.
So Res is still foreign to me. What is Res Infinite like the same Res as before, but like with some new stuff, right?
I think there's some new stuff. And I mean the game is, it came out in 99 or 2000, so it's a 15, 16-year-old game. But I mean, putting that in 1080p or even in VR, it looks phenomenal because there's so much going on screen, and it can easily overwhelm some people. But for me, it's just at that sweet spot of just, this is all the sensory overload I deeply desire.
Yeah, that's like a game where being surrounded by it seems like it would make it a lot better.
Yeah, it's phenomenal and just a gorgeous looking game, and I'm glad they brought it back.
They need to bring the trans vibrator thing to the PlayStation VR version.
That would be amazing if they made that for sale, but it would probably cost more than the actual PSVR headset.
Probably, or like just start selling that friction suit or whatever they had at
Yeah.
PSX.
I mean, I have this old thing. It was basically a backpack. It was a subwoofer that you wore on your back. They marketed it in the Genesis and Super NES era. You could kind of get the same feeling if you wore that,
Ooh.
but I don't think it would be like the whole suit that has like 26 like motors on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'd be down to wear a subwoofer on my back. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's kind of amazing. I don't have it near me. I forgot the name of it, but it's yeah, you can find them on eBay for somewhat relatively expensive, but you just plug in like a standard like headphone cable into it and it just jacks up and vibrates your back the whole time.
See, this sounds right. If I can
It's
feel my
ridiculous.
ribs vibrating, then I'm down.
It's pretty close. It's really weird. Like they recommend like play Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, okay,
and then he does like the X-ray move, and you're like, oh god,
yeah, you actually
actual bones breaking.
break your ribs. So
number 7.
Res Infinite is kind of like my VR section of it. The next number 7 is Arkham VR. Until Star Wars VR came out, Arkham VR was the game everyone wanted to play when they came over to play VR. And it's a story that I don't get sick of. I have seen this story played out, I want to say close to a dozen times, and it doesn't get annoying. It's an interesting because you're what Batman does us, which is being a detective. You're not fighting him. You're not fighting enemies. You're more just being a detective and figuring out what happened in the story. And the VR, it's one of the best VR experiences out there. The Riddler trophies are really fun. The only thing that sucks is it doesn't have a platinum because it's a short experience and you could probably do the whole game in about 3 hours. But Job Simulator is a 2-hour platinum and all of its trophies are golds.
Yeah, well, there's no regulation.
There isn't.
People are not in control of this.
There isn't. And I'm like, why didn't Rocksteady just push for the platinum? If
I-
Job Simulator could get it, Batman VR could have gotten it.
Oh, for sure. Even if it was $20.
Yeah.
I mean, if Resogun can get a platinum, let's be real here.
Resogun's hard to get that platinum.
Oh yeah,
That's a hard platinum to get.
that's a platinum you got to earn.
Yeah, it's not like My Name is Mayo, which
No.
I refuse to buy.
I have not. I still don't even really understand what that game is. Do you just like open a
It's-
jar
you
of
cl-
mayonnaise
No, you don't even open it. You just click on it,
and you get a platinum, right?
and you get a platinum in like 20 minutes.
All right.
And it's 2 trophy lists, so you get 2 platinums, one on Vita, one on PS4.
I have nothing but proud platinums, so I don't want to.
I have somewhat decent platinums.
Okay, my 1st
I'm-
platinum was Batman Arkham Asylum for reference.
Okay. Oh, that's an impressive platinum. Mine are mostly Telltale games
Okay,
and Rocket League.
I did just get that Batman Telltale game platinum. That's my first Telltale platinum, actually.
It's probably a good one to go through. I haven't gone through that game yet. I have it. I just haven't made time. There's so much to play. And after both of us were at PSX, I don't know how many games you got through the app, but I unlocked all of them. Headlanders might be the best one.
I got all of them, but Oceanhorn, which is
Oh.
a bummer.
That one I got based on luck, basically, is we were in line at the end on Saturday, and they said, look, we don't have enough time, but we'll give you the scan. And I'm like, awesome, because that's mostly just what I was in line for.
Yeah, I did play the other version of that game that is being remade. That was Monster Boy. There's also like something boy. Anyway, speaking of Batman, off of this Telltale, I'm just curious because I really want to play. I don't have PlayStation VR for reference.
Okay.
I really want to play Arkham VR.
Arkham VR is really good, especially if you played through Arkham Knight, because it continues that story.
Okay, so it takes place canonically after Arkham Knight.
Yes.
So Batman, he's back. He's hanging out.
I mean, it has to take place somewhere around Arkham Knight. It takes place definitely after Arkham City because
Okay.
he has the like Joker serum or whatever, the Joker virus inside of him.
Yeah. Okay. I still know like next to nothing about that whole story. So
Oh, well. Yeah. Then there's so much to do and there's fun little mini games in it and it's a great fun experience.
Does it feel like an Arkham story? That's my question.
It does.
Okay.
It does because you have Kevin Conroy reprising his role. You have the similar art style to kind of like how the game looks. It basically just looks like an Arkham game in VR, but you don't do any fighting. That's the only thing that's kind of missing.
Okay, that's not a bad thing. There's some
Mm-mm.
good environmental storytelling in the Arkham games. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you should check out that Batman Telltale series. It's very different.
It's all downloaded. I just need to make time. I this week I'm working, and then that week after Christmas I have off, so I'm sure I'll have time to
Give it a
get
shot.
through that story.
That's what I'll recommend.
Okay.
All right, number 6.
Number 6 is my favorite VR game of the year, which is Rigs, which a lot of people didn't talk about, and I don't understand why. It is a really fun game. It has a great community. The Reddit just had a tournament actually, which the team I was on didn't do very well, but Gorilla actually started to notice this community on Reddit and actually donated prizes to this like 10-team tournament. Hopefully, as PSVR kind of grows and more people get units, people will get rigs. The problem is, it is a $50 game, and it has a single player component to it, which is most of the trophies in the game. And it's like you basically are a team of on rigs, and you just progress your way through. And they have a similar. Are you familiar with Premier League? How the Premier League works over in England in soccer?
A little bit, very, very little bit.
So how Premier League works is there's no playoff system. It's basically whoever can get the best record wins the overall season.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically are in a minor league in rigs, and then you have to work your way up to higher divisions.
Mm-hmm.
That part is fun. The online is really well. The only unfortunate thing is you kind of have to organize people to do online, because most of the time you can't find a match
Yeah.
because there's just not a lot of people. You have only 800,000 people have PSVR. You have maybe a tenth or even a 20th of the people probably bought rigs. So you're with a very small net of people who are playing rigs, and then to have them playing at the same time as you is not the easiest to find.
So it's like rigs basketball with robots.
That's one of the modes. Is so there's deathmatch, which is you're just trying to shoot each one. There's kind of a football mode where there's 2 end zones on each end, and you have to get the proverbial football and get it into the end zone. And then the basketball component is basically, it's similar to how in Titanfall, where you kind of level up to get the Titan. You level up to get overdrive, because there's 3 different modes your rigs can be in, which is speed, healing, and like doing more damage. And when you level up your meter all the way, you get all 3 at the same time. And at that point, when you're in overdrive, you can get a point in Power Slam is the name of that mode.
Okay.
So
like in the standard deathmatch mode, are you like, do you have like mounted guns?
you have mountain guns on each side, and you play it with a DualShock 4,
Okay.
and depending on what rig you have different guns. There's I think 20 rigs in the game, because there's 5 different classes and they're 4, but they're going to add one. They were supposed to add one with this month's update. So there's 25 different types of rigs, and you buy them in single player, and then you can use them in online. And yeah, you can't really customize your rig. You can customize the color and what your pilot wears, but you kind of have to purchase the rig or try out the rig that is best for you.
Yeah. As
To
you
your
can see,
style.
my PSVR exposure is little. I had a friend bring it to our Extra Life stream, and I played Battlezone, which I enjoyed
Okay.
quite a bit, because that was actually my first PSVR game that I ever played in demo form.
Okay.
And then I played the Hatsune Miku Project Diva Experience.
How is that? I think I have the demo, and I can't bring myself to play it. What are you, Hatsumiku, in the demo, or are you like an
No.
audience member?
You are an audience member,
Okay.
and the objective is so you have one move controller, and
Mhm.
it is a glow stick in game, and you have to pound the glow stick to the rhythm of the other
Okay.
audience members around you. The creepy part is all the other audience members are like black silhouettes just holding green glow sticks. So you're just watching a concert, just trying to keep in rhythm with the other people around you, just conforming like everyone should. It's one might call it a religious experience.
Okay, if that is what it is, I might actually be willing to try this out. That's kind of amazing, because
It's ridiculous.
I mean, because Hatsumiku actually goes on tour.
Yeah, no. So
and performs in sellout crowds.
it's like the full like hologram, like
Yep.
she's dancing on stage, and you can like look around to different spots and like throw yourself to these other, like you just throw the remote and you just teleport to this other spot. So you can jump around and sit in like the nosebleed seats or like front row if you wanted to.
So did your friend have the full version or did he have just the demo?
He had the full version. And
Okay.
there were like multiple songs. I don't know how many, not that many. But the demo just has 2 songs. You'll get the idea.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
It sounds more fun than Harmonix VR, which I have just seen videos of, and I'm like, I don't understand how that's even a game. It sounds more of an abstract than Dreams, which is a game we still haven't seen.
It's you know what? I would call it abstract, but I would also call it very specific. It's
Okay.
worth seeing just for the joke.
Hatsumiko, you're saying is abstract and specific.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Harmonic. I don't know if you've seen video of Harmonix VR.
I've seen like one video of it. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm like, okay? This is the team that brought us Rock Band, and they're bringing this drawing to music in VR, which is just very,
You know?
very strange.
Yeah, it's weird. Top 5 now.
Top five. Top five kicks off with my only Xbox One entry, which is Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, a lot of buzz on Forza.
I don't know why I wasn't more hyped for this game, but I got it when there was a price glitch on Target.com where you could get a digital copy for like $20.
Yeah.
And so I jumped on it, called one of my friends. I'm like, hey, Forza Horizon 3 is the price we would all pay for it. And the game is way better than a $20 game. It is a gorgeous game. It improves on everything that Forza Horizon 2 brought us. Are you familiar with the Forza games?
Yeah, I've played only the kind of like very entry level Forza Horizon Fast and Furious thing.
Okay.
Because I'm not like a huge car guy, but I definitely respect it a whole lot, and that was like free, so it was just me kind of like testing the waters with it. Maybe not for me, but I really like everything I've heard about Forza Horizon 3, especially.
Okay. The Horizon series I enjoy because it's not just for gearheads. The main line, the Forza Motorsport and even Gran Turismo, is more for people who want to customize their car and know the difference between a carburetor and a carbon filter. But Forza Horizon series is more just about going out driving and just racing. Like you can customize your car, but you don't need to. You can just buy different cars or get cars as you level up, and it's just a gorgeous. The way they use Australia as kind of the backdrop for the story in the game is just amazing. And I don't have a 4K or the Xbox One, a 4K TV or an Xbox One S, but I've just heard rave reviews about how amazing it looks with the HDR. But on even a regular 1080p with an older Xbox One, it still looks amazing and makes me happy because I bought an Xbox One and I rarely actually buy games for it. I usually just play the free games, but this was kind of refreshing to get and was just amazing to see. Like Forza Horizon 3 is a game I'll be playing for many months to come.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was with Gears of War 4. That was like a really great, heartwarming experience for me with my Xbox One. And it's very, very pretty as well. Forza is cool. Like everything I hear about the Horizon series makes me feel like if I could get into a driving game, that like series would be where I would come in at.
Mm-hmm.
I just, at this point, I just don't have time. But Australia, man, they make that world really gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
I'll probably never be able to afford to go. Maybe someday, but this is a good for now, at least.
Driving a Lamborghini on the beach.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I think Gran Turismo Sport is going to fulfill kind of what the Gran Turismo series is kind of needed in a equivalent to a Horizon series, where it'll be easier and more approachable for people who aren't just all about cars. Yeah. At least from what I've seen from the marketing and played in my limited time that I've played a couple demos of it.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I've heard good things about Gran Turismo 6 as like a good entry level as well.
Mm-hmm. I had 5 and I was kind of just overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know anything about cars, and it seemed like that game you needed to know about cars.
Yeah.
So
number 4.
Number 4 is year 2 of Lego Dimensions.
Yeah.
I think with year 2 they have found their audience and they realize it's more adults than kids are buying these games, and so they went out and got properties like Gremlins, Sonic, which I don't think is actually relevant to children anymore. Later in 2017, they'll have The Goonies, Beetlejuice, Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans Go, which I guess is more for children. But year 2 so far in 2016, they've brought Adventure Time, the 2016 Ghostbusters, Mission Impossible, the A-Team, Sonic the Hedgehog, Gremlins, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and E.T. the Extraterrestrial. My personal favorite has been the Sonic Dimensions pack.
Yeah.
And it is the best Sonic game to come out in years. I would say at least a decade.
Is it like how Sonic is it?
I mean, it's 2D. It's a side-scrolling, I would say 2.5D looking game, and it plays like a Sonic game. And when you're in the Sonic level, any character will play like Sonic. So even if you put Gizmo in from the Gremlins pack, but I mean, and even has like fun little Easter eggs, like it'll have Eggman tossing the emeralds like he does if you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds after the first Sonic the Hedgehog game. It has in the level pack there are these things called mini kits to earn, and one of the mini kits, which I still have not earned because I've lost patience in trying to get it, is you basically have to complete this first part of the level pack in a certain amount of time, which is in reference to how the first acts of the first 2 Sonic games you had to complete really quick to get like a 50,000 point bonus.
Yeah.
But if you are into pop culture at all and you have waited for a pop culture event, Lego Dimensions is the closest we're going to get to it. A lot of people are speculating that Disney will jump into it in year 3.
Yeah.
Since Disney Infinity is kind of falling apart and Lego has that good relationship with Disney with doing Marvel and Star Wars licensing. So we can only hope, but I love Lego Dimensions. It's the game I've played most this year. I wouldn't call it the best game because the game always has its issues. I'm glad I waited until the end of year one to jump into it because apparently like every update it always has glitches, and I'm seeing that in year 2. But I think that's partially the fact that they come out with this game on 5 platforms: PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U.
Is it on PC as well?
It's not on PC. They just released Disney Infinity on PC, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, and you don't need the figures. Like, it's on Steam now, and it just comes with all the figures kind of built in.
Huh.
But Lego Dimensions, it does not have a PC release, and I don't think it's been officially announced, but it seems all signs that it's going to be on the Switch as well next year. But I love Lego Dimensions. It is a very costly hobby to get into.
Yeah. Of course. Toys to life.
It's Toys to Life, but someone has made a spreadsheet on Reddit that you can like download to your own Google Drive, and then you can keep track of how much you've spent. And it's not it's that page of the spreadsheet is not one I like to look at that often, just because I'm like, oh yeah, I've spent this much on this game. But they all sit on my shelf, all the figures. Most of them I don't use because each character and each vehicle kind of has its own abilities, and you kind of find as you play the game like which characters you need and which ones are kind of useless, but they still look good because it's basically you're getting microtransactions. That's what Toys to Life basically is. The only difference is you actually get a physical thing.
DLC with a real reward.
Yeah, with a reward that I can take and use in the real world and deck out my shelf with.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, my big thing with Lego Dimensions is I was like, I'm just perpetually burnt out on Lego games. It seems like that's just like a really big one of those. But I love the idea of bringing all these different franchises into one thing. It's like part of what made the Lego movie so fun.
Right.
Like this aspect of all these kind of Lego franchises that I grew up with building as a kid, coming together in this really weird, specific way.
And one of the opening scenes of the campaign it's one of my favorite moments where Lego Movie Batman and DC Comics Batman share a scene. So you have Will Arnett and Troy Baker like riffing off of each other of who is the actual Batman.
Yeah.
And now that, because the game comes with DC Comics Batman, and then we'll get Lego Movie Batman with the Lego Movie pack release next year. The story pack comes with Robin and Batgirl, and there'll be a separate pack that I think is only going to be at Target. And it'll have Excalibur Batman, but he'll be the Lego Movie Batman for the Lego Dimensions.
That's great. Like, that's so dumb, and like bringing like the Goonies and like Scooby Doo's coming to that.
Scooby Doo was in year 1, yeah.
Okay.
And Scooby Doo has his one of his vehicles, because it's a team bag, you get Scooby and Shaggy, and one of the things is this giant sandwich that's called a Scooby snack. And if you feed it to Gizmo, Gizmo actually becomes like a scaly gremlin temporarily.
That's awesome.
So we finally get to see Gizmo of what would happen if he did eat after midnight. You kind of can see it in Lego Dimensions. And the Gremlins Adventure World has a great section dedicated to Gremlins 2, which I think is the superior of the Gremlins films.
Gremlins 2 is definitely a trip. I'll say that
Yeah.
much.
Gremlins 2 is amazing.
It's really good. I think I'm with you on the Gremlins 2 train.
Yeah.
It's just it's so obvious that those guys care so much
Yeah.
about all these franchises.
They're going after properties like they want, which I think is one of the best things about it, that they want and then they care. But the Sonic pack is just phenomenal. Like there's a lot of Sega fan sites like they got into Lego Dimensions just so they could play the Sonic pack, and everyone, I've not heard a negative review about it at all. The only negative review that would maybe be if the game is kind of glitching on you, because it is a very glitchy game being on that many platforms.
Yeah. But aside from that, it seems really cool. I'm glad it exists, even if if it's not for me.
I mean, if it's not for and and to your point about how you're kind of burned out in Lego games, I don't like Lego games usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've played the Star Wars one, I've played the Lego Marvel Superheroes, and the games are just too frustrating for me. And Lego Dimensions I like because I'm like, I can go out and get the character I want. I don't have to wait to earn him in the game, and it makes the game a lot easier. Superman and Supergirl are the MVPs because you can cheat through a lot of the levels and just skip a lot of things to get to the end of it.
Yeah, it's okay. I can get into that.
So
number 3.
Number 3 is Uncharted 4.
Yeah, that's a video game.
That's a video game. It's a gorgeous looking video game. Probably the prettiest game on my list, I would say. The reason it ranks so low is because I don't think it did anything new for the Uncharted series, and
number
I still
3,
don't.
So low.
I mean, a lot of people are putting Uncharted 1 as like or Uncharted 4 is number 1 on their list for game of the year, and I couldn't do that just because I don't even think it's the best Uncharted game.
Mm-hmm.
I still think 3 is the best one.
Okay.
Just that self-discovery that Nathan Drake has in the desert. I love that. I love that. And we do get the driving scene and driving sequence in Uncharted 4.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But I loved it, but the other two games on my list, it just spoke more and have more replayability, because I've never quite gotten like heavily into the multiplayer components of Naughty Dog games. And I don't like to hold multiplayer against games, but what I played of Survival.psx, I know the update is live now, but what I played of it as PSX is the horde mode is actually really fun.
Yeah.
As long as your team communicates, which mine did not, so it took a while.
Of course. Here's an unpopular opinion. I was first to say out there, Uncharted 4 for me is the best in the series.
Okay.
I'm not as huge a fan of 3 is the thing.
Okay.
So I'm one of those 2 over 3 people.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I feel like I need to revisit 3 and kind of give it another fair shake. Because I feel like I just had a bad playthrough with it, which happens. But so like 4 essentially just did everything that 3 did, but better for me.
Okay.
And I like the focus off of combat. Like there's way less shooting in Uncharted 4.
That's true.
And I thought that the way like they moved, like factored movement into the shooting, made it way more fun as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just like I was really into like Sam. I thought was great, obviously. And all the Elena scenes, obviously all the like the weird kind of Naughty Dog fan servicey stuff is phenomenal. But yeah, like it's regardless, Uncharted 4 at number 3 is still good praise.
Oh yeah, for totally. And I had a point. Uncharted 3 took me a while to get through because I never finished it on PS3, and I was trying to get through it before Uncharted 4's release. And so this year, what happened when Uncharted 4 was supposed to come out on April 26th, I basically went to my girlfriend and said, I want an Uncharted themed birthday party. Like, make me a scavenger hunt to go through the cities. I live in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Yeah. And so make me a scavenger hunt, like organize my friends. Like it's a tall request, but you know, me and her love each other, so we do ridiculous things for our birthdays.
Oh.
So she went above and beyond. She made the scavenger hunt. She made like she got one of our friends to make a replica of Nate's journal.
Oh, whoa.
And so I had to go through the cities and find pages for it to get like the last ultimate clue. And there was kind of like a weird like Star Wars like theme throughout like spread throughout the journal as well, because at the end of it I got like the Kylo Ren the expensive Kylo Ren helmet they put out. So they made this journal, and it looked legitimate. Like it's not just like, it's actually a really well done thing. And so I did that, and that was really fun. Fast forward to PSX, I brought the journal just in case I ran into like Neil Druckmann, so I could show him. Unfortunately, I didn't. But when I was at the keynote, we just by chance sat in Naughty Dog's section, so we were sitting next to a bunch of Naughty Dog developers.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I showed them the journal, and they were like, "Wow, this is actually kind of amazing." And so I texted our friend who. My friend Elle, who did most of the work on the journal, and she doesn't know anything about Uncharted. Like everything she learned about Uncharted, she like knew through like YouTube videos. So I was like, oh my gosh, I just showed Naughty Dog the journal you made, and she's like, I don't know what that is, but that's pretty cool. And then I was like, I was like, Naughty Dog made Uncharted, and she's like, oh, in that contest, that is actually really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, and then I finally started playing Uncharted 4 recently and got most of the way through it. But
finished it.
I've not finished it. I got majority of the way through, but I was trying to blitz through it for PSX because I had a really good feeling that they were going to do story-based DLC.
Yeah.
But luckily, it doesn't seem that the story-based DLC has a lot to do with Uncharted 4.
Completely separate.
Yeah, which I'm glad they got Chloe. Chloe is one of my favorite characters from the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
And I was hoping I could meet Claudia Black with that autograph line. Was ridiculous.
Yeah. You got to tell me that. Where are you in Uncharted 4?
I think I'm in like chapter 16 ish area.
Okay.
It's like 2/3 of the way through.
You got some stuff to do.
I do have some stuff to do.
This game might climb up a little bit higher.
Maybe it could jump up one spot. I don't think it could take number 1.
Okay, that's fair. I'm curious to see what I'll check back in with you once you finished it, because that is very much a slow burn.
Okay.
And I'm a slow burn kind of guy. Very much why I like Jessica Jones. As you might imagine. So it just it just kept getting better and better, literally up until the last moment. So
all right, maybe we'll jump up. So my number 2 game was Titanfall 2.
Hell yeah!
So good.
That's a video game.
That is a great video game.
Yeah.
The campaign. We played it on Extra Life stream. We played the first part of the campaign, and I basically just had this running commentary of just making fun of the game. But the game turns out to actually be really fun. But the first like hour, where you're kind of trying to find the batteries.
Yeah, it's weird.
For the Titan is just kind of weird. And so I was making comments of like, hey kids, do you like the exploration of Uncharted, but you want to drive a robot? Well, then we got a game for you called Titanfall 2.
Let me tell you about finding batteries. Yeah, it's such a weird mission. Like every mission in that game, to be fair, is very weird because nothing is like anything you've ever like before it. So
right.
Yeah.
And I even played the first Titanfall on Xbox when I eventually did buy an Xbox One for Sunset Overdrive. And I loved it, but I mean, the problem with that game was it was only multiplayer, and I kind of eventually get burned out on multiplayer because I don't see the point of just keep grinding and grinding and grinding.
Yeah.
Though I still play Destiny for some reason, so
yeah, well, here we are.
Yeah. Although
I guess Destiny, you are grinding to get to like special missions that are very fun.
Special missions, and you want to get to the top light level. But for me right now, it's all about sparrow racing. I love sparrow racing.
You lost me.
It's all right. I understand why a lot of people don't like sparrow racing, but it's the only thing that brings me back to Destiny. Like I literally have not played Destiny hardcore since the last sparrow racing event.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I got back into Rise of Iron, but
I bought Rise of Iron because everyone was like, "Hey, we're gonna play Rise of Iron," and then after a week, none of my friends were playing Rise of Iron.
Well, it's a good thing you did because you needed to do all that new sparrow racing.
Yeah, which I knew. I kind of had a feeling it was gonna come back, and so when they announced it at PSX, I was just like, "Yes," but I was not gonna wait in that line to try it. When I'm like, "We're gonna be able to play in a couple days."
Yeah.
Any game I could play in a couple days or go home and play right now, I didn't see the point of waiting in line.
Yeah, let me go play Let It Die.
Yeah, let me go play a game I could literally remote play right now.
Exactly. But what are we talking about? Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2. So I love the multiplayer because even if you suck at it, it's still fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's like
It's
it's an event.
yeah, and eventually you'll get a Titan.
Yeah.
Like even if you're just one of the worst Call of Duty players, you could still probably earn a Titan at least once in a match.
Yeah, and the thing about Titanfall 2, like going back into this, because I got an Xbox One for Titanfall, and I
Okay.
don't regret it at all. I love that game. I played hours and hours and hours of it. It definitely, like, for me, wasn't that it was just multiplayer. It was just like the multiplayer was great. It just, there was not a lot in the multiplayer. There just
hmm
wasn't a lot of content. Like, there wasn't a lot of guns. There weren't a lot of Titans. There weren't a lot of customization options. Just it was hard to justify keeping playing that when there were other games coming out around it. Even if the quality of the game was great, and then so many people fell off. But going back into Titanfall 2, it was just such a great reminder to that feeling like is so unique to that game, and it really is a game changer when you get your Titan, right?
hmm
Like the match and the theme of the match, at least temporarily, changes, and you become like this powerhouse. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, I love getting that Titan, and for me, is I'm very picky on where I want to put the Titan.
Oh yeah,
I don't I will hold on to a Titan for literally 5 minutes if I cannot find a good spot to to place it.
that's probably better, and if you're efficient as like a foot soldier, then it works
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I'm decent as a foot soldier, or in a Titan, I'm a little bit better because you can take more damage, especially if you get one of the higher earned Titans.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think they improved. They smoothed out a lot of rough edges. The wall running is great. For me, I'm a little overwhelmed by how much customization there is in this game.
yeah,
I mean, everything is customizable.
yeah,
It seems, and it's a game I'm going to play for many months.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I love Titanfall 2. I can't wait to see. I really hope Respawn sticks with first person shooter genre. Like if they have like a different genre in them, that'd be great. But I mean, they still have one of the creators of Call of Duty. The other one left.
Yeah.
To
Still
kind of
Vincent Bella, I believe.
yep, yeah,
Um,
and yeah, I love Titanfall. I can't speak enough. I don't know why people didn't buy this game. I mean, it kind of had the worst release window ever.
yeah,
Um, but
it's phenomenal, and like
it is.
battery collecting aside, that campaign is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I love that campaign.
That's my favorite, or at least it is in a long time, of that like kind of fast paced military shooter campaign.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, Call of Duty should be taking notes on how great that is.
yeah,
But Call of Duty's never going to have mechs because they won't. I don't.
because then they're
I'm
just Titanfall. So
yeah, I'm really curious what the future of Call of Duty is going to be because it's just selling not well.
yeah, not as well as it used to, at least. Yeah, Titanfall 2. Buy that game if you haven't, please.
Buy that game. It's probably on sale somewhere.
It's so good. All right, number one,
Game of the year, Doom.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
loved the hell out of this game. Oh my gosh, this just the soundtrack, the
yes,
combat, the you literally shoot your enemies until you can literally rip them apart
yeah.
is phenomenal. The story is what it is. You
It's
can either buy the
ridiculous.
story or not, but I don't care because it is just a fun game to constantly go through. There's rarely a dull moment in the campaign. The multiplayer is really weird. I only played the multiplayer twice. It was during the beta, and then on my Extra Life stream, I basically like my friends left with like 3 hours to go around like 4 a.m. And so I had like 3 or 4 hours to go. I'm like, I need something loud and somewhat fast paced to keep me awake. What do I have? And I went to Doom multiplayer, and it did the job of keeping me awake because it has the Doom soundtrack to it, and it's the multiplayer is okay. I really liked what I saw in the beta, but I never really came back to it. It reminded me a lot of Unreal Tournament, but
Mm.
I was expecting more when they launched the full version, but it seemed like they didn't add enough after the beta to really keep me entertained. It has an audience. It's really strange that you can always find a match in Doom several months later, but the campaign is just phenomenal. The boss design, the weapons.
I was gonna say, like, how did you feel about the boss fights?
I mean, they were difficult, but I was able to get through them.
I liked them all. I
I
thought
like
I thought they
Yeah,
were cool.
I didn't have an issue with any of them. And my favorite component about the game is you don't see this in first person shooters because most first person shooters is just like you get two weapons, you have to choose. But this one you get them all. Accessing them is very easy with that kind of like wheel that you do when you click. I think it's one of these shoulder buttons, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but I love the hell out of this game.
Yeah. Man, like
Could not recommend this game enough.
that double barrel shotgun.
Oh, it's great.
Guns will never
It's
be that good again. Is the
no,
problem? It's like
no.
it's the one gun. There's no reloading in the game except for that gun,
Yeah.
and it's so worth it. Every
Oh,
time you shoot it, you're reloading and you're excited about it because it means that you get to shoot it again. Uh, it's that game is
yeah.
something special.
I really hope they make a sequel to this. I think it sold somewhat decently. Probably not on PS4 because it came out a week before Uncharted 4. Or I think it was actually like 3 days before Uncharted 4.
Yeah, because that was a Friday release. So
Yeah, Uncharted 4 was a Friday release, and Doom came out that Tuesday. But I was sold on this game the moment they announced it. Was at like E3 last year?
it was E3 last year where it had its full unveil. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, sign me up. I loved the Doom games, going back to the old PC ones, and then even Doom 3. Loved Doom 3 in the dark on a like a just in a dark room is one of the best experiences I have from high school.
Yeah.
Just yeah, that game is Doom 3 I have many fond memories of, but Doom, the new 2016 Doom, easily my game of the year. Phenomenal game. Probably will go through the campaign again. I am tempted to try to get the platinum, but it has like one of the most difficult trophies I could think of, which is like you have to play it on like max. You have to get through the first level on max difficulty,
Yeah.
and
That's harsh.
yeah.
I
And I'm
yeah, I
I'm
want-
terrible at finding collectibles, so I probably won't get it. And I really hate going back to find collectibles.
I did enjoy spending like just a bunch of time in the levels, just like looking for
Mhm.
secrets, though.
Yeah,
Especially those like classic Doom levels built into the Doom levels.
yeah. I think I have to go back. I never did I didn't find the first one. I saw a video on it, and I just didn't look for it when I played it because I was just so excited. I'm like, I just want to fight more.
It's worth seeing one of them just because they're cool.
Okay,
Um,
I'll probably go back and do it.
yeah, it's a special game.
It is.
Would bet they make another one of those.
Yeah, and I loved the one I really liked about this game is, at least on PSN, I bought it on PS4, and there was a 10% discount if you pre-ordered it digitally.
Mhm.
And I usually do not pre-order games unless it's for a collector's edition
Yeah.
because I gotta have my statues. The
course.
statues I bought this year were Uncharted 4 and then Last Guardian.
Okay.
And then the next one I'll probably get is Horizon. But the Doom statue did not appeal to me at all. I'm like, that just looks. I don't know if you saw the collector's edition
I did.
for this.
Yeah.
It's I can't display that on a shelf. That's so ridiculous looking.
Too
But
much.
apparently it's battery operated and it spins.
Oh, of course.
But I
That
couldn't
makes
bring
it better,
myself.
actually.
Yeah, I couldn't justify it. I'm like, I'll just get the digital version. I never got the season pass because it was just mostly multiplayer content. But yeah, Doom easily game of the year 2016 by far. Like, more people need to play that game.
Yeah, if you haven't, whew. I don't know how you feel about Metroid Prime, but to me, Doom was like secretly Metroid Prime 4.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I didn't play much Metroid Prime. I grew up a Sega kid, and there's still much a Sega kid in me, so I kind of like am rooting against Nintendo all the time.
Okay.
If that makes sense. If
Yeah,
you
no, I
grew up,
getcha.
if you grew up in the console wars, I was the one Sega kid on the block.
Okay. It was Adam Wells. That was him.
It was me. Yeah.
All right. That's a good list. I like it. A lot of VR there. I haven't heard a lot of VR stuff from people. So it's good to have somebody like, really rapping it.
Yeah. I have a
now-
question for you actually for
Okay.
your Extra Life stream. How did you stream the VR?
I
Did you
actually
just did you
wasn't
do it
that
through the
hard.
console?
Yeah, so
Okay.
just like run the console through it, because it just runs like essentially it's just one cord that we ran through the capture card and it was fine.
Okay. Because I've talked to even people who work for devs and they're like, we don't know how we're going to capture VR. Like it's still very much a wild west of capturing it really well.
It's like
It's-
when you get into the Vive and Oculus territory, that's when you have typically like two HDMI cords,
Hmm.
and that's when it becomes like kind of a nightmare, especially if you have
Okay.
like a normal capture card. If you have an onboard capture card, you might be able to make that work. But PSVR is actually pretty reasonable.
Okay. And what device did you use?
I just use an Elgato.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
standard buy it off the shelf capture card.
okay. Yeah, I've been debating between that and a Ripsaw, but I can't find anyone talking about streaming through a Ripsaw. But a Ripsaw I kind of want because you can do older consoles on it.
Yeah, if you get the Elgato, the older Elgato, you can do older consoles on it.
Yeah.
But the HD60 will only do HDMI. So,
Right.
so to close this out before we kind of end this top 10 podcast out, what's your most anticipated for 2017?
I would narrow it down to maybe 3 games. I would say
Sure.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm very much looking forward to that. Played that at PSX and absolutely loved it.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't get the chance to play it because that line was. Whew,
was this your first or second PSX?
it's my second.
Second, okay. I felt I learned a lot from the first one and figured out how to kind of like move about. Basically, each first part, like each morning of PSX, like do your AAA titles. Then, like I jumped. Actually, I was going for Sonic Mania, but then Farpoint was right there, and so I jumped in the Farpoint lane and was the first group to do Farpoint.
Yeah, and like typically, like when I'm doing my PAX route, that's usually what I'll do. But like I'm just always so easily distracted by indies that I'll just run over there and play whatever almost instantly. So
Yeah, and then Sunday I did GT Motorsport and then Horizon just off the bat, and then those are kind of the AAA's I wanted to get to. I did do Rigs even though I owned it, but their giveaway was they had jerseys that they had at last year's PSX, and I've been chasing them for a year, and they never go on eBay, and if they do, that people overcharge them.
yeah.
So the fact that they were giving them away again, I went through the line to get them. So absolutely love repping my Rigs jerseys now. The other two games
to Horizon. You're very
Yeah.
excited.
The other 2 games I'm excited for are Farpoint. That game is, I think, really close to the full-fledged AAA VR only experience I think we've been waiting for. It plays really well. The gun feels great. And just how did you play Farpoint?
No.
How you switch guns, I think, is one of the most brilliant things. And basically, you take the gun, you put it up to your shoulder, and then you pull out another gun.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. And then because of my nostalgia, the game I'm most excited for in 2017 is Sonic Mania. I was able to play it. I have that collector's edition on pre-order, which I'm glad because we never get good collector's editions for Sonic games in America. It's usually overseas they get the good ones.
Yeah.
But Sonic Mania, it plays just like an old Sonic game should. It kind of fixes everything I've kind of had an issue with the last 16 years of Sonic games. Even going back to Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, I'm still not the biggest fan.
So is everyone else. So
a lot of people will give credit to Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. I don't.
I enjoy Sonic Adventure 2, but I recognize it is not a quality product.
No, it isn't. And playing it, I played it again recently on PS3. And I was like, yeah, this game does not hold up.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Like I'd rather just go back and play 1 through Sonic and Knuckles. Even Sonic 4, that was the first game I bought on PS3 because I bought a PS3 right around Black Friday of 2009 or 2010, and I bought Sonic 4, and I was like, I've never bought Sonic 4 Episode 2 because Episode 1 was so bad.
Yeah, it's weird because that game always looked great to me, but I never touched it.
It tries to do too many things. Sonic Generations was kind of like the one highlight. Sonic Generations is really fun, but reminds you when Sonic games got bad because it goes through kind of the entire timeline of Sonic.
Yeah, I also heard good things about Sonic Colors, but
I don't own a Wii. I've heard good things. I've never owned a Wii.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
all right, that's good. Sonic Mania. I have a feeling that you'll probably be the one person repping that. So
I'm trying. I'm really hoping. I'm probably gonna be the only person repping it, and I've even bought one of the shirts. Amazon has sold a couple limited edition shirts for Sonic Mania.
Yeah,
it's a weird partnership, Sega and Amazon. But I have a prediction that it's going to come out April 25th.
Okay,
that is my prediction because they've kind of slotted it for this second quarter of 2017, and I'm really hoping because April 25th is my birthday, and if I got a Sonic game on my birthday, I will lose my mind.
I'm rooting for you. One more time. Thank you for joining me, Adam.
Thanks, Alex.
Absolutely. Where can people hear more of you and find more of you on the internet?
People can find me on Twitter at the Adam Wells. I tweet about a number of different topics, video games, movies, and just because I feel you have to be aware now of politics. Um, and you can find me at beyondtheshieldpodcast.com talking about everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And our podcast Twitter is Beyond the Shield, where we live tweet every episode of Agents of Shield.
There you go. Thank you so much for coming on. Go check out Beyond the Shield. Go believe in Agents of Shield. Add to the number.
We're trying. We're trying.
Yeah.
It was really good. If you have like access to abc.com or like the on demand, like check out the last couple episodes. They were actually really well done.
Yeah. And as this is the first of these that I'm recording, I can't say for sure if these top tens will be coming out over 1 week or two, probably 2 weeks, just judging by the sheer number of people that we have doing top tens. But stay tuned right here on Irrational Passions Podcast and irrationalpassions.com for more 2016 top tens. But until then, I've been your host, Alex O'Neill, and it's been my pleasure to serve you.